This is Marvel Rivals. We're here on PlayStation 5 Pro. The game is enhanced. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. This is a free-to-play Overwatch-like game, which features a starting roster of 33 Marvel characters and allows you to battle across a variety of different environments, across universes, settings, and in general, the multiverse. So this is a game that is filled to the brim with content, action, and again it is PS5 Pro Enhanced, offering us two visual modes that really do take full advantage of just what the PlayStation 5 Pro has to offer. So this is your Pro mode. Kind of think I can get Groot there. We did get him, but obviously it wasn't 100% me there. But yeah, so this is the Pro mode. So this is your 4K 60 FPS. It's using Pisser technology in order to achieve that. We also have global illuminated ray tracing, and we have reflections, lumen reflections as well. So you get a very, very clear visual picture quality here that looks absolutely fantastic and sharp, and you also benefit from higher resolution or higher quality visual effects, so like particle effects and that are going on within the environment, and some lighting effects as well. But I mean, obviously, with the ray tracing aspect of it, the illumination, it really does, it looks absolutely fantastic. They did a great job with the visuals in this one in terms of like style, aesthetic, and then of course using the full advantage of the PlayStation 5 Pro, which is great if you're someone that has the platform. And we also have the benefit of VRR, variable refresh rate support. And yeah, then there's a second graphics mode that is available, which we'll showcase in a sec here when there's not immediate danger to my cloak and dagger life. So in the settings display, you can switch to high frame rate mode. It's going to do a little bit of a flicker, and then you should be seeing it come back. And this is the high frame rate mode, which is a lot more of an aggressive dynamic 4K at 120 FPS. It is a very smooth experience that looks fantastic, clear, and very clean. And I would say a pretty good way to enjoy this game. It would actually probably be my mode of preference, just in terms of getting a lot more of a competitive angle that feels very, very fluid. Because when you're playing these shooter games, even though it is like a third person, a little bit more casual, cozy, easygoing kind of shooter game, it still can feel quite competitive, and having the edge of the high frame rate makes a big deal when you need those quick second moves, those quick second attacks, getting those abilities out on time and being able to successfully dominate your opponents. So that's what I would kind of recommend this particular option as something to play in this game, the high frame rate mode. So it does tone back some of the settings in regards to doing so, but I think you're still getting a very, very clear and visually impressive picture, but one that just feels incredibly fluid and is kind of the way to, again, sort of go about it, at least from my perspective. But of course, the choice is entirely up to you and how you want to engage with the game. But yeah, this is actually quite a lot of fun. I've played several hours or so at launch, and then on top of that I was playing however many hours during the beta and stuff like that, and then some extra time to kind of take a look at this, and I think I've got a pretty good grasp of the experience. I've tried all of the characters. I actually did a stream of that. You can check it out, literally see all the different characters. You get everybody from like the Avengers to the Guardians to the X-Men and more across the Marvel Multiverse. It's teams of 6 kind of facing off against each other. There is the core mode, which is basically kind of a variety of objective things. Capture a point, move an objective, stuff like that is kind of your core gameplay loop here. So sort of back and forth with some dynamics of the characters and stuff, and you have some commands and some like emote things that you can do. It's pretty cool, honestly. All of it's very, very interesting from that perspective. It's decently competitive. There's also a competitive mode if you want to play a little bit more seriously, or at least that's coming. And there's like a bit of an arcade option thing too, so you got like a few different kind of ways to play it, but it is pretty straightforward in what it offers gameplay-wise and competitive-wise. I think they actually put together something that's quite a lot of fun here. Very genuinely impressive gameplay setup, and one that I think you can really, really enjoy. And again, this is basically the high frame rate mode is really good. I'm wondering if I should show off the reflections, but I'm kind of like, we are competing here, not just fooling around. But yeah, it is genuinely quite impressive gameplay-wise. Like, I've been having a lot of fun. It's all your favorite Marvel characters, with a roster of 33 characters at launch, and more, I'm sure, to come over time. I think you'd be pretty hard-pressed to not be able to find a character that you like, or find interesting, or can use. Like, I mean, there's several characters that I think are really, really quite strong, and it's going to be interesting to see how balancing impacts that over the course of the lifespan of this game. We'll have to see how it goes, but as a free-to-play offering, it's really well polished, it's a lot of fun, it's engaging, it's colorful, it's vibrant. It does have a bit more of a slower pacing to it in regards to like the character movements and stuff, but that does help out, balance out like your objective play. And yeah, it's kind of neat too, because all the characters, they all offer different things, whether there's like more of a tank character, or someone that's a bit more supportive, or someone that's kind of filling in the middle there. Every character sort of has their own little flair and style and level of importance in this game from a combat and gameplay and support standpoint. Like, obviously, this is objective focus, which I think is fantastic. It'll have you actually pushing to take places and work functionally as a team, whether you are a healer or somebody that's a little bit more aggressive in the combat. There's also a nice little sense of environmental damage and integration here, because the world can actually get a little cut up in some ways as the battle kind of rages on. So some walls, not like everything, but some walls, some areas can actually have levels of damage to them, and they can get like destroyed, like a wall structure or something, and then eventually as the match kind of rolls on, you'll see another one kind of like reappear. And it's a very neat sort of thing, because it allows you to carve a little bit of the environment up. And to me, that's just like kind of an extra little edge of something unique about this game, is seeing that map kind of get worn in as you play it. It's very, very intriguing, gameplay-wise. And I like that they've embraced the more, like, they have their own style in this game for the visuals of like the characters and the costumes. But I really do think they've embraced like a more attractive kind of aesthetic and style, and something that is a little bit true to the comics and inspirations. We're gonna have to jump into another lobby here. And that's one element I really love about this game, is the fact that the matches are basically instant. I wish Call of Duty could learn the technology that this game has. The longest it's ever taken me to get into a match after clicking the start button is 2.5 seconds. The fastest, literally like half a second, and you were into a full lobby with a selection of people. It's kind of amazing and genuinely impressive that you can just literally go from like not playing to immediately playing in another lobby. I don't know what I was doing there. I was trying to grapple hook to get over to that spot. It just didn't work out for me there at all. That in itself, again, genuinely impressive. This game also feels really great with the DualSense, in regards to like certain shots and movements and stuff. It's all beautifully put into the controller in regards to, the feedback and that. I think that's fantastic. And again, just a very fluid, clean, and well-running game. This is genuinely, I think, the most impressive Overwatch-like game. Obviously, there's Paladins, which is quite fun and engaging, and, I like that game for different reasons, but I think this one just really genuinely hits the mark for me. It's just fun. It really is. Like, it doesn't feel like it's too crazy. I feel like I do pretty well at it. I have a good time playing. I think there's a lot of different characters for all types of different people for different things and different reasons, and it was really neat sitting there and actually trying out all of the different characters to see who was good, who was bad. There's some characters that are a little bit overpowered, and that's where I was kind of saying, like, nerfing and stuff I'm sure will be a thing for a lot of characters in the future. But no, I really do genuinely like what they've put together with this. I think it kind of hits the Marvel thing well. It fits in, like I was saying, to the characters. It introduces you to some characters that you might not be aware of either, which is kind of cool, because some of these I hadn't even heard of until I actually started playing this. I was like, oh, this character, alright. Like our Jeff the Land Shark and stuff. And I don't know if this, because I can't really zoom in on this too much, but I'm like, is that like a Stan Lee cameo kind of thing? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy. And then I also really love the dynamics of this game knows the characters, and it's actually come up with characters that have synergies. So if you get a collection of like spider people together, they will like kind of uniquely build off of each other, and they'll get benefits. So you can like pick up certain, like if you're I think it's the Hulk and Wolverine, you can like pick up Wolverine and throw him. If you're doing the Spider-Man and like Venom, you know, Venom can basically grant the symbiote for Spider-Man, and you get like a big extra attack thing, and there's just these really cool group synergies that can exist as these teams kind of like meld together and work. And that's where you'll try to build synergies with like amongst your teammates. You don't always need to, but it's something you'll probably try to do because it'll grant you those benefits that allow you to basically become more powerful characters together, which I think is fantastic. I really do think that element of it is really, really quite cool. And that's what I'm saying is like I'm genuinely impressed by this game. It is a ton of fun to play. I think it's very, very well put together, like I said. I think it offers some pretty competitive gameplay, quick gameplay, matches. They feel like you get good value out of them, which sounds weird because, you know, again, it's free to play, so it doesn't really matter. But when I play a match, I'm like, it's not terribly long, but it feels long enough where I'm like, I was really into this, I enjoyed it, and then I'm on to the next one if I want to or not. Like, it's very respectful of your time. I feel like there's no limitations. It's very, like, consumer-friendly in terms of the gameplay and the mechanics within it, the monetization elements, how battle passes and everything are handled. I'm just really genuinely impressed by what this game has to offer. I just have had a great time with it. Seriously, it's just been a lot of fun to play. It's not necessarily like some sort of industry kind of changing thing or anything like that, but it's just fun. It really is. It's genuinely a good time, and it's easygoing so that like any type of player can come in here, learn it really easily. You know, get a grab on like the ropes and everything like that, and you know, pick it up. And I don't think you'll have too much trouble learning it. And I think on top of that too, I love that there's that layering of finesse with kind of, yeah, sure, I'm playing as the Punisher, but like, do I know all of the Punisher's abilities? You can hold up on the D-pad there to kind of get that. And it's kind of cool because a regular Punisher player go, you know, blast, 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 but a more knowledgeable Punisher player will like flop around with weapons and use different things and abilities and, you know the different settings for different scenarios. So it's kind of like one of those really easy to play, but has a little bit of you can get really good at the characters the more comfortable you're with them and knowledgeable of them. Even myself, I was kind of flopping around between all these different characters, and some I know a lot more than others, and some I'm just like, oh, I don't think I'll play with this playstyle. But you know, it's nice to have something that gives you that freedom and that like just the versatility, I guess, of it. Just like all your different choices for characters, and then they've all got just beautiful styles to them. I really do genuinely love the aesthetics of the characters they've chosen here. They're all similar, like, but they are a little bit different. I thought it was funny though, the Psylocke here is a really neat, powerful character in the game too, and they have like her original costume as like a costume you can like buy in the store and stuff, and I'm like, And it's just really cool to also be able to see your character too. I think the third-person perspective kind of works well for this. It's strange because, you know, psychologically, you think I'd be just geared towards Overwatch, having that been a thing for years, and this game being so similar. You think I would just be completely used to that. Where was my healing Landshark, right? Like, why didn't Landshark save me there? Weird. And it's kind of just neat seeing that sort of, you know, change up in this game and kind of being like, oh, it just fits naturally into the style of it and allows you to enjoy the majestic outfits and everything for the characters. I think you really will be fine with just like the base visual aesthetics for the characters. And if you need to, you can go further too, but like, mostly I'm trying to say is like, just as a bare minimum, like, they all look really cool. They all hit their style well. I think they all kind of fit their costume aesthetic from the comics relatively close enough, which is nice if you're into that sort of vibe for the characters. And there's even some MCU like options that you can grab too, and it's just a really well compiled game. You get what I'm saying there? Basically what I've been saying the whole time. Runs well, it looks great, it's got a decent selection of levels. I mean, I could sit here and be like, well, more maps would be nice, obviously, but there's more than enough of a variety where I don't really feel like I'm repeating the same sort of setup over and over again, which is nice. And then with the different characters that are present for different players, you really can feel as though you're... Oh, that doesn't open. That sucks. Feel as though you're like playing against an endless different combination setup of characters. Like there's always different teams you're going up against. There's always different battles you're doing. There's always different combos that are happening on the maps. It's always a pleasant surprise to see what kind of setup you get, and then of course you can always change things and switch things up while you're playing. And you know, competitive has like a little bit of a different style to it, but if you just come in here from a fun angle, it just like really allows a lot of unique, cohesive combos and abilities, and then you kind of charging your ultimate throughout the match to play. And whenever something's not working, you can always change it up. And I like that the combat is sort of quick and aggressive, but at the same time, it's not too overly fast, if that makes sense. Like, you can attack and feel like you kill someone pretty quickly, depending on the character, I guess. Some characters are stronger than others, but you could feel as though you're taking out an enemy relatively quickly. But they also get like a little bit of a chance to sort of like feud with you a bit, or fend you off, or do something to counteract what you're doing. And I really do appreciate that this game has such dynamics like that, because it just keeps it sort of fluid and fun, and it's always different and always unique. I think that's a big issue with a lot of games that do the free-to-play thing, especially like, you know, shooter games or combat games, is the big drawback can sometimes be the fact that you feel like you're doing too much repetition, like there's not enough difference within your battles, there's not enough change-ups. Whereas this game really does seem to embrace that sort of style. And then furthermore, oh yeah, no, hitting the big furthermore there. You have a lot of balance in how your guns and stuff work. Like, I'm shooting things, but I still have to reload. I can't just endlessly fire. It just adds this extra little layering of skill and technique to it. And sure, like a regular player could come in and just fire away and be all deadly. Hawkeye is terrifyingly overpowered at the moment, by the way, too. Which is kind of funny. And you never know what kind of matchup you're going to get, too. You know, battling like a Scarlet Witch, and then, you know, Luna Snow there, and then they could swap up, and we can have something different, and yeah, it's the variety and spice of life that kind of keeps this game, to me, really unique and exciting, and just always fresh. And then all they have to do is just keep basically adding content and supporting this game, and I think they've got a pretty... To me, this seems like a really winning combo. You know, I like Marvel stuff, I like the characters, I like the style of gameplay. This is something that's been obviously addictive and fun for a lot of people for a long time, because, you know, Overwatch has thrived over the years. And, you know, I'm not even going to really sugarcoat it from that perspective. It's very much taking the style and the play of Overwatch, and it's just applying it in this styling and aesthetic, and that's... totally fine, you know, I get that, right? There's lots of games that come in for different genres and do something similar. And I think they've just kind of looked at that formula, saw what is working, what isn't, and then just kind of threw it into... See, again, Hawkeye insta-kills is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And then they've just kind of thrown it into this sort of Marvel kind of wrapping in that, and it works. It works. It genuinely does. There's absolutely nothing wrong with providing a quality experience like this for players to enjoy, and I'm very happy that this exists as it does, because I've had a lot of fun playing it so far, and I look forward to hopefully playing more of it in the future. We'll see how long and fresh it kind of keeps for people that are, you know, checking out my content for it, but I just think there's something really... They've got something really good here. I really do feel that there's a very strong base here that they could build from. And, yeah, as long as they do things right and they don't annoy folks too much, and it might actually provide much needed competition within this sort of space in the industry in order to, you know, kind of push those to sort of improve and, you know, better themselves, right? Competition is good. It genuinely is. And it is interesting playing this and being like, well, you know, Overwatch as a concept is a little... worn out for me, right? You might think, and then you come in here and you're like, oh, well, this feels familiar, but also fresh and different. And it doesn't feel like I'm just retreading things I've already done, so Yeah, I would say Marvel Rivals has been a lot of fun for me. Thanks there, Shark Dude. And there's really fun characters, some cute, some a little beautiful, and I think they've got a good balance of options here for you to enjoy. It's a lot of fun to play.